Welcome to this week's episode of the First Moves podcast. This week we talk to Jorrit Consten, serial entrepreneur and owner of DARQ, a chocolate brand that has now expanded into a café, hotel, ice cream / crème brûlée shop. In this episode we talk about his experience owning DARQ and starting the company alongside family. This episode is full of valuable insights and experience, so if you're looking to start a business, this episode is highly recommended. We hope you enjoy. Jorrit, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I asked you beforehand to bring an object with you a little bit to give an introduction to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
What did you bring for us today and how will that introduce you?
I brought a deck of cards. Basically, when I was like in secondary school, I started to do magic. And I became a performer, I became a magician, spent a lot of time. And then I always had this deck of cards in my pocket to show people some magic tricks. And at a certain point, it became part of my lifestyle. And then went to university, played some magic as well there. And at a certain point, when I became an entrepreneur, I lost it. I lost it, but I stopped doing it and stopped perform. But sometimes, especially when friends are around, they ask me, come on, bring out a deck of cards. And then I need to. So I promised them lately that I will do another performance anytime soon. So I thought, it's part of my life. And I really like playing with the audience and with the cards as well.
And what sparked your interest in magic?
Creating a buzz, to dazzle people in a way. I really like that. I find that really interesting, especially when I'm the only one who knows the trick, but it does not count for them. For them, it's always a battle between win or lose, and to me, is trying to convince them that it's all about me having fun and they having fun. So it's a win-win situation instead of a win-lose. But sometimes it's difficult.
Nice. And how does the bridge then happen between doing the magic and performing and then entrepreneurship?
I think it has similarities in performing. It's like hospitality is an act, basically. When you open the door, people are there to be welcome, or they not feel at home. They go to a shop, to a bar, to a cafe or anything, and they want to be spoiled and they want to be seen. And that's also what you do in a magic trick. You first give them something they might not like, or they're trying to find out in a way, and then in the end it's like you dazzle them, or you make sure that the whole routine becomes to a higher end, and then they laugh, which is quite interesting because humor always does the trick, in my opinion. And that's the same with hospitality. People come back when you feed them with humor and with quality.
And you mentioned now the hospitality. Mm-hmm. So what exactly are you doing for a job and as an entrepreneur?
So basically 9 years ago, I opened a chocolate and coffee experience. We were mainly focusing on chocolate and trying to do tastings with all kind of varieties in the chocolate. And we sourced them all over the equator, basically, with third parties. And then we gave people the opportunity to explore chocolate in a different way. Like you have wine tastings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have exactly the same with chocolate, but it was not really known back then. And this shop was only selling the chocolates, and there was you could have a drink at the bar, but not really sit down. So it was basically a shop, and we wanted to give the people more of an experience in this chocolate. So after we kept growing, we also had the opportunity eventually to have a terrace and a different license where you could buy a cup of coffee, sit down for breakfast and lunch. So we became more known by the locals. Basically, we invested a lot of marketing budget in foreign countries like Germany and Belgium, and more to the north of the Netherlands, because a lot of the people are more aware of these kind of products than I see here down in the south. And after about 5 years, I kind of created a new opportunity, because I merged with our production. But 2 months later, Corona hit. That was a difficult period, yes. You can imagine.
Yes.
And during that period, we thought of, okay, how could we attract new business or create new business? Because before, the production was only or mainly focusing on B2B instead of B2C. We were the only shop where you could buy our products. And besides that, we had the Bijenkorf. It's a shopping mall. Yeah. And they had our products too. But that was pretty much it. And the rest, we were selling our products to restaurants and hotel chains. So we had to change we had to basically pivotate our business model from B2B to B2C. I wasn't the one who couldn't produce any chocolate, because that was part of my brother-in-law experience. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, what if we could somehow make it more visible for consumers? And then at a certain point, also my landlord died, and that brought us the opportunity to invest in the property with an investor, of course. So we did, and then we thought, okay, what if we could build a chocolate hotel, which wasn't here in the Netherlands? And I thought, okay, this sounds fun. Basically, it's a small team boutique hotel with one penthouse. It's called the Plantation. And then, we focus there on the farmer. In our case, the most important person. And then below that, you have on the one floor with 3 rooms divided into white chocolate, milk chocolate, and dark chocolate. So the doors have names instead of numbers. Yeah, it's quite fun. Or at least I think it's fun. The headboards of these rooms are made of chocolate bars. Unfortunately, you cannot eat them, but they seems like a real presentation. Exactly. Yeah, and then we have our logo branded in it, so you actually see DARQ. Like you have this avocado as well. If you buy a bar, they push like the little logo in it. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did as well. So people, when they upon arrival, they make pictures of the room, and it's like, okay, they do my marketing instead of I have to pay them for telling me that you're in a chocolate hotel. Yeah. And then on the first level, you have one chocolate room, which is called the Bonbon Suite. Mm-hmm. And there's one wall made of wooden panels, and those are handmade, and it's a reflection to our chocolate bonbons, which is also handmade. And then at the end of the chain, you have the chocolatier, which is the profession where Rolf kicked in back in the day, and now my colleagues are responsible for. And it's a dedication to them. It's like a profession with a lot of patience. It's very detailed. And for instance, we made a chandelier of crystal and chocolate there. So we found some stuff during digging out the construction of the basement. We found some parts of the Roman Empire. Interesting. Cost a lot of money, but
yes. A lot of delay as well, probably.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm laughing now. Back in the day, I was a little bit more frustrated about that. You can imagine. And then we made together with an artist a head of one of the Roman empires. It's also one of the shelves in the room. So basically, we show the diversity of chocolate in there, and how nice chocolate is to work with. In DARQ, everything melts together, and the production has either a commercial role or a production role, where we produce our chocolate bonbons and pastries and ice cream we distribute to the Netherlands.
So all of this is really deeply rooted in chocolate.
Exactly.
There's like a deep passion in chocolate for you, or why was chocolate the one you said, that's what we're gonna do?
Yeah, basically it all started with my brother-in-law.
Okay.
He was an architect back in the day, and he gave my sister a birthday present to become chocolatier. It was a kind of a workshop.
Okay.
I thought it lasted for about 2 months, but after those 2 months, they both decided to continue the course, and they liked it so much. So after 2 years, they graduated. Both chocolatiers. For Ralph, it created a career switch. My sister's a GP, and she's still a GP. She was a GP, and she's still a GP. So yeah, in the beginning, it was the whole family got infected with eating chocolate. Then we had to pack the chocolate, and then he came down to me. The business is growing. Why not open a pop-up shop? And maybe you should do that. And I was like, okay. I was living in Shanghai at the moment. I was like, okay, maybe this could be fun. But still wanted to travel and work abroad. That was something I had in mind. But at a certain point I thought, okay, why not? Maybe this is the time. I was always very fond of the location where we're at the moment. It's like a little bit hidden, but also in a very beautiful old city center.
Yeah. A very central location.
Sorry?
It's a very central location.
Exactly. It was not as much traffic back in the day, but as it is in now. But I really like the craftsmanship which you feel in that area.
Yeah.
It's everybody's focusing on quality, everybody's focusing on personal attention, and that was something we liked as well, or what we're trying to do as well. So
I want to go into the chocolate tasting a little bit because I mean, obviously I think a lot of us in the world, we eat chocolate. Most people have probably tried chocolate in some way or form or shape. What do you do to enhance the flavors of like a chocolate tasting? Is there something specific you do? Is it specific chocolate you give people, or is it something where you compare? Like, for example, Lindt is a very famous brand, and a lot of people, they say Lindt is the best. But
exactly.
I've also heard that then when you actually taste proper chocolate or chocolate that is originated from other places, then you taste a completely different version of chocolate.
Yeah.
So how do you enhance that? And how can people do that at home?
Yeah, basically it all starts with the variety. Chocolate grows all over the equator, from east to west. Each country, each variety, each farmer has a different way of processing, and that helps them to grow their bean the best in any way. And then after the harvest, the real process of making chocolate starts, and that is pretty complex. And the crunching part, that always creates more flavors and more depth in chocolate.
And the crunching part, that's where you crunch the fruit or the bean?
No. Then maybe it's not really good to go into deep in the whole process, because it's pretty
very
complex,
yes.
But let's make it. I'll try the short version. So after the fermentation process, the fresh fruit has been gone, and then the bean itself will be roasted, and then after roasting, then you use a lot of different kind of machinery to eventually create chocolate. And in the crunching part, you mix all of the ingredients, and then you add cocoa butter, you add cane sugar, and then the chocolate itself, the cocoa mass itself, and then sometimes you can add oxygen, because it really reacts to it, and a lot of acidity goes out, and the longer you crunch, the longer, or the process becomes more complex, and the bitterness goes all the way to the back. And because of that, you actually taste the environment or the variety or more acidity, which we call sour. But you have like the specialty coffees these days. That's exactly the same with the cocoa beans. You can use 10 different kind of beans, and you can use one variety of beans, and you can ask 10 producers, and they all create different kind of chocolate. So it's pretty hard to focus on one style. The style is owned by the producer. And using a variety from the north of Colombia and using a variety from Vietnam, they will taste completely different. But the conching is in general takes part of this to have a different taste. Yeah. For now, we're focusing, or if you go to supermarket chocolate, it is chocolate. It's either milk or it's dark. That's pretty much it. Yeah. But if you go to direct trade, then the producer wants to give his chocolate kind of a signature. And for some reason, as an example, you have like Pacari. He has very floral flavors in his chocolate. It's not added, it's just the bean itself. If you go to Maru, that's from Vietnam, they have a lot of flavors that it's more like to the spices. Okay. Yeah. So depending on the region, depending on the bean, it becomes a completely different chocolate. And this is something you would like to experiment or to give this experience to people. It's like, oh, did you know chocolate from Colombia tastes completely different than chocolate from Vietnam, for instance.
You compared it earlier to like you have wine tastings, you also have chocolate tastings. Yeah. And now we're talking about flavors in the bean. So from wine you have flavors in the grape, from the soil. Is it the same for the chocolate as well, that the beans take the flavor from the soil?
Not really the soil, but more from the environment. Okay. Yeah. So, but soil takes part of it, like sun, how they dry it, how they roast it. Roasting is very important in the process. And then the conching part,
Okay, interesting. And you mentioned that this was your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
That came with this idea. It's really funny to me that it all started from a gift, and that it's just went further and further and further. So it's really a family operation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Rolf. Basically, he always was working with quality products. So when he cooks, it's like outstanding, and that's also something you see in his products. But after a certain point, we merged, and then he stopped working in the production, and he went back to his architecture. So he's drawing again, and again, also very interesting projects he's doing. And then we were mainly focusing on building a chocolate team hotel. And now one of my colleagues, he's also part of our team, of course, and he is in the top of the Netherlands. He's also part of the Dutch pastry team. Okay. Yeah, super, very ambitious young guy. I love to work with these people because they are focusing on too many things, obviously, but they are always in for more, creating something new, which I really like. And techniques, it's like if they walk, like all of the techniques, they understand way much better than I do. Yeah. So it's super interesting.
And who do you run it with now? Is your sister still involved in it as well?
No. My sister was actually never involved, but she was always working in the production when she was not working in her practice as a GP. But she helped my brother-in-law out basically during the weekends. Okay, it's like a super busy period. Can you help me? So that was when she came in, when she was involved. And my wife, she is running the hotel. Okay. So she's mainly focusing on that. So I can cover the production together with Carlo and the day-to-day operation at DARQ and Crème. We also thought it could be interesting to open an ice cream shop in June, quite late in the year. But it was super fun. We thought, why not doing this? And we always had ice cream, but when we opened the hotel, it was not really logic to have an ice cream display in front of your entrance of the hotel. So we thought, okay, let's skip this for now. And then the neighbors, they start to reconstruct the entire building. And my wife said, why not open an ice cream shop next door? In the meanwhile, Carlo was focusing in Milan or in Italy on his masters of ice cream education. So everybody was running it except me. So we thought, okay, let's go for it. So we opened the ice cream shop. And now we're changing that to a winter edition. And then crème becomes crème brûlée. So all decorated in trees, and we're gonna make kind of crème brûlées and more Instagrammable hot chocolate with meringue and a lot of sugar, basically. But, it works. We have to
Americanized a little bit.
Exactly.
I want to talk a bit about the mindset that it takes to do these kind of things, right? Because it's changing stuff, but it's also successfully building something up. Because the ice cream shop, I walked past a couple of times during the summer, and it was quite busy.
Thanks.
And then you change it into something else now, which I'm no doubt is probably going to be very successful as well. But how do you switch this mindset sometimes that your wife tells you, let's do this now, and then you're like, okay, let's just go for it now?
That's for sure. That's one reason I think you have to change, because winter doesn't bring a lot of ice. You have not edible ice. So I think you need to make the change to be part of DARQ in a new way. An example: if we don't change it, nothing will happen, and people will get lost. Okay, why did they move? Why did they quit? It's not going well. Okay, that's one thing. But on the other hand, okay, you have these locations. You have this location. We're renting it, so why not change the concept and add something people like in winter? I think we are specialized in chocolate, so hot chocolate. People are queuing sometimes up for the hot chocolates we make. So why don't do this at the shop next door? So I think it's somehow a reason to survive. And on the other hand, I think I really like the concept version of creating something and then pull back, because then it doesn't bring me a lot of energy. I think I'm more the creative person and creative and strategic, instead of just giving it a one shot. We have this opportunity, now is the time, so why not go into deep instead of just focusing on, okay, let's wait till let's say February, we start selling ice cream again.
Because then you lose the revenue that comes with the entire
for sure. And I think people in these people want to explore new things. You can see it all over. When matcha launched like a year or 2 years ago, everybody's drinking matcha now, and people are exploring new things. They want to be part of new things. It's part of being innovative. So I think it's also fun, and I think fun in general leads to a lot of good things. It brings people together. It creates a buzz. It's like so many people entered the ice cream shop Crème just to make a picture of the back. Maybe it's good to understand this a little bit better. What we did is we had a lot of space which we could not use in the shop, and we wanted to focus mainly on the ice cream. Just having ice cream, take it away, and that's it. But then we thought, okay, what happens when you have ice cream? Everybody's happy with ice cream. So we created this wall at the back where it says, "This is me happy," and in front of we had these two chairs, and those two chairs were on sand. And everybody was taking pictures. This is like laying there, for instance, for like two seconds, and then left, and they didn't even buy an ice cream. But it's like, okay, this is super fun. I want to be part of this fun project or whatever it is. And I think if you bring something to mind with people in this way, they talk about it, they think it's fun, and they like mastering better than only my shop.
But how do you get that idea to put sand in your shop and put some chairs in it? Because for a lot of people that is
almost unthinkable to put sand in your shop. Yeah, exactly. It was. Yeah, my wife passed the shop also in our quarter, and she said, "Oh, there was sand in the display in front of the shop." I was like, "Oh, yeah, in front of behind the mirror, behind the window." Sorry, and I was like, "Okay." And she said, "What if we put this at the back?" I was like, we had the idea just to have this. You have these ref chairs, so you go in and then make a picture. That was the original idea, and then we thought, okay. And then she passed by. So we had some doubts basically about that picture. And then she said, "I found some sand," and I was like, "This is it." And she was like, "Seriously? We're gonna buy like a big bag of sand?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And then, it happened, and it became super fun. A lot of mess by the end of the day, but it's super fun. Children were playing there, like all day. The parents were out on our terrace, just enjoying their food without yelling and screaming kids surrounded by them. So it had multiple functions, and most of them liked it. And how is the dynamic between you and your wife working together like this? Because intense, yeah. In the beginning, it's definitely not the real ideal situation. Yeah, she had her job before. I was doing this already for a couple of years. And then she comes in and she basically breaks all your rules, which is a good thing. And I think we should listen more to women than ever before. But I think it's very good to have a different perspective on the same level as I am. And she knows how to deal with a lot of things. She always is a hands-on person. And she always arranges directly. And for me, it was actually the first time I had someone to talk to. But we are very focusing on our own on the other hand, which makes it sometimes difficult. But we agreed on, okay, never swallow any kind of bad discussion. Just spit it out, go with it, and we will find a solution in a way. And it might not be the best solution for you or for me, but at least create an open discussion, and then we see how it ends. And after about 3 to 4 months, we finally found some more like a pace that we are running it together. And ever since, we're growing into the business ourselves. She was also the one I still believe that she said, okay, if we want to expand and if we want to create a more sustainable business for long term, this is the time that we need to invest in the shop next door. It has a lot of potential. Why not do it? So, And how do you keep business and family life separated, or is there no line anymore? No, that is, we try to avoid it after 7 o'clock. Most of the time I'm arriving late, so that's an easy one. In the beginning it was quite difficult. It started already when I was taking a shower. It's like, and how many people are checking in? And I said, okay, let's wait to go to the shop or to the hotel. We try to avoid it at home, definitely for the children. Because also you don't want to argue in front of them. It's more like it's always a business argument, if it is a business argument. So you try to avoid that, and let's focus more on home things at home, and try to do as much as you can during the daytime, and when you're together or when you're in a group or with the rest of the colleagues. And is the business now at a point where you can say it could actually run itself without the two of you being there, or are you still very crucial to the operation of everything? Because of Crème, it becomes more crucial for me to be there, because it's basically opening a new shop. So that is quite difficult. When we didn't have Crème, we were on the point that it was running close by itself. Yeah, sometimes you need to be there and you need to check, but I think that's healthy.
Yeah,
that should be, or at least, and there will always be things that I will see that other colleagues won't see, and that's because I'm me, and they are doing what they're good at. So, but that is something always. Remains the same, I guess. Yeah. I hopefully can say after 1 year, of opening, the business could run itself. That is definitely an aim for me, because in my opinion, I think focusing more on creating new things or expanding, this is something, I get a lot of energy out. I also want to be part of something, not maybe bigger, but more interesting. This is, to me, DARQ and the hotel and Crème, it's not really a scalable product. It's a very personal hospitality organization, and scalable is something I might admire in the future.
Okay. And talking about like the whole family life and balances and starting it with family as well, a lot of entrepreneurs, they talk about making sacrifices and things they've had to give up to get to the point where they are now in their businesses. Is there anything along a journey that you can remember that's like, oh, shit, I actually had to give up, but it was so worth it to get to the point where we are now?
I think you always have to give up a lot of things when you become entrepreneur. Time.
Yes.
That's one. Yeah, and you start to become an entrepreneur and then tell yourself, this creates time. Yeah, I think it's the opposite, but it brings also freedom, and not freedom in the way of being in another way, but making your own decisions. Yeah. And I think, in my opinion, or in my case, that's something I really like to do. Of course, you have a discussion or a conversation with someone and say, should we do this? But on the other hand, it's not layered. Mm-hmm. It's like that everybody has to sign that this is approved. So I really like that. But the sacrifices, I was always working, so I had not a mismatch, but I chose my work above friends, which after a couple of years I decided to change. Yeah. So I'm seeing my friends more often now, which I think is very valuable. Yeah. So that was definitely a sacrifice I had to take.
Did you ever feel lonely during the journey?
Sometimes, for sure, and definitely because I was working on something, and they only had to listen to my stories, and they were like, okay, just be here and just have a drink, and instead of talking about your chocolate hotel or whatever where you're planning. But you're in there on your own, and that makes it quite difficult sometimes. And the same as at home. I saw and raised my children together with my wife, but she's responsible for the outcome for now. Yeah, not really the outcome, but you understand what I mean. I'm barely at home. Or when I'm at home, they are in bed, or I just can give them a night kiss. Yeah. So that is something I want to change for sure. And weekends, I'm working all day. I don't mind working all day, but having something in mind, that is so time consuming sometimes while running or sports. It's always there.
Yeah, and it never switch off.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, Jesus, why? Okay, and then I start running harder, and it's like, okay, it still takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I'll close to home, and it's like, okay, this was the moment. My head is clear now. Yeah. This is something probably that every entrepreneur has, so I'll leave it there.
Is it something that you underestimated when you began, that it was going to be that time consuming in that?
I understand. I think you always underestimate to be an entrepreneur or creating something you admire so much that you want that it becomes a success, and you do whatever it takes. So having such feeling brings you also down to the fact that you have to, okay, it doesn't matter, I'm not gonna lose my child. Basically, you're talking always about a child. That's your first business. So you do everything for it. And then time is just a number.
I guess for me, it's definitely something that I underestimated in the beginning, especially with the friends, because I thought friends would be excited about things happening, and then you work a lot, and then the only questions you're going to get is, oh, why do you work so much? Well, why are you not here? And then they were always out drinking on Fridays evenings, and then you're sitting there looking on your phone, at the bar again, and then you look at your to-do list. And then you're like, okay, which one do you choose? And then you start ticking off things on the to-do list. But at some point it gets lonely as well. For me, at least, it got quite lonely at some point. Also, now my friends moved from high school. They all go into their own different worlds because I went to international high school. But now we started this little community of entrepreneurs here in Maastricht that get together. We go for a run, or we go play paddle or something like this. And then you see it's a whole different dynamic when you talk to other people who have had businesses as well. Because then when you cancel, they'll understand as well. It's like, no worries. We understand that's what's going on. But for the people who, I'm going to say have normal jobs, because we also have a normal job. But they go 9 to 5. They don't always understand of did you cancel this dinner, or why did you cancel these kind of things?
Definitely. I 100% agree with this. I really, and that's also quite interesting. A lot of friends of mine, some of them have businesses as well, but I think they're a little bit further in their entrepreneurship. But I've really felt always quite warm when I just asked them, okay, guys, I want to spend more time with you. It's like, okay, was it that bad? And it's like, maybe not for you, but for me, it was, okay, we chip in on Wednesday. We're having drinks on Wednesday, so join us. And and that becomes more often. And then it also feels you're welcome, instead of like, okay, there's you again. Because, I was always talking about work because that was my part of life.
That was almost everything, because it consumes everything as well.
Exactly,
Because I've had that as well for my girlfriend sometimes. It's like, now it's enough. Now we talk about something else.
They can be very...
But it's very difficult. Because I also think I catch myself in not realizing that it consumes that much of your life. But then when you hear people from the outside talking, you're like, okay, actually, maybe I do speak a little bit too much about it.
And it's from a different perspective. And for you, it's quite interesting to share your thoughts with them, but they only hear your thoughts. But if I can help them to change their mind by adding chocolate to the conversation and give it to them. It's like, okay, you brought some chocolate, so
then it's okay.
It's okay.
Then you buy yourself 10 more minutes, you can talk about it. Nice. I also wanted to get in a little bit about into the hotel. Because when you look on your website, the rooms are very unique, the way they've been designed. You also talked about already that the headboards are chocolate bars and all that kind of things. How did you come up with the design of that? Because obviously it takes a lot of attention to get into that kind of detail as which the rooms have been designed.
I did it actually with my mother-in-law.
Okay.
So it's quite fun to do something with your mother-in-law, and because it can get naughty in the conversations, and it happened as well, of course, which is it's always fun to mention that. How do you do this? We created together with my mother-in-law. It's like, seriously, I think she has a good taste. And in this period of time when we started to create and think about the concept in total, we thought, okay, what should be in there? What are the values? What are the main ideas? And it was Corona. So actually we had quite some time to spend thinking about it. And when we started DARQ. She was also part of the creative mind of the interior. And I think as I said again, she has a good taste. But but then first you start with what are we doing with the levels and the space, because it was first owned by my landlord, and she lived there. So
residential apartments or building.
So we had to remove basically everything from each layer of each floor. So we did, and after I think 4 months, we start to actually see how we could change walls, how we could create more spacious rooms. So we went to a lot of places where you have where architects go to, and then they got inspired by materials. So together with my brother and mother-in-law, we went in the car, drove all the way up to the north of the Netherlands, and then we're there for like 15 minutes, checked out the whole venue, and I was like, okay, this could be interesting, that could be interesting. And then we started to decorate the rooms, and as it is themed, basically we thought, okay, what kind of colors and what kind of products do we need on each floor? So at the plantation, we start to look at pictures from the plantation, and it's very nice and colorful. The cocoa pots are very colorful.
Yeah, the yellow color, right?
Yellow, purple, green is super interesting. Depends on the variety. And then the ground is kind of dark brown, but it's not. It's soil, so that's not really nice to have soil in your room. So, but we made like a floor like dark brown, and so it has some similarities. And we also wanted to have the difference between finance and a little bit of raw materials. So that's always something. The beams, for example, on the plantation, they are just like wood, and it's like raw. Nothing happened to them. It's like old school. We just made sure that we sanded it, so it looks new. And we did that for every layer, and then we changed our minds like multiple times. So probably everybody got annoyed by us. Definitely the constructor at a certain point is like, come on guys, you're changing your mind every single week. This is not the main idea.
Then you see something new and then you're like, that would be interesting.
And we found some suppliers and also wanted to contribute to the project. So and for us, which was very important is, okay, what do you do? What is the main thing you do in a hotel room? And that's you go there for a good night's rest. So beds need to be in top shape. They need to be very, basically perfect to lay on. And then the rest is extra. And the bathroom, it should always be more spacious. It feels when it's a little bit bigger, it feels more spacious. Like, oh wow, this is spacious.
Especially for a hotel room, and then you think it's a luxury also of the hotel room. As soon as there's a bit more space, then that's what people remember as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we try to put in our rooms. And then besides that, it's always good to use different kind of materials. If I do it over, I would never do it again, because other materials in all different kind of rooms, it takes a lot of effort.
Yes.
But we're only 6 rooms, so we had the opportunities.
But I think for the end result, it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing what I see, which is difficult, is that I can see the different types of rooms, and a guest only sees one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But also quite interesting and funny. It's like people, they go and they book a white chocolate room, for example, and then it's like they want to upgrade because we have a suite available and it doesn't cost extra money, but we want to give you. And then people just deny it because it's like, no, I like white chocolate, so I want to stay in this room. I was like, okay, okay, that's up to you. But so they really choose their room because they like it. Yeah, it's quite funny. Yeah, interesting.
To end the conversation here today, could you give one advice to someone who's listening to this, who is starting an entrepreneurial journey, that you learned throughout your own journey?
Yeah. Another person who I was talking to in another podcast, he mentioned when you're when you're not on the highway but always in sand and it takes a lot of effort, then it becomes really interesting.
Yeah.
Stay in the sand. In the end, it will you will stand out and you will you have your focus, because you need to have your focus to create any kind of business. And this is what I always liked. It's like similar to my explanation of it, because I always like a bumpy road.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes too easy, I'm not willing to take the risk, or I think that there is not even a risk. Yeah. So I like the bumpy road. I don't like the end, because the bumpy road brings me to the end. So my advice would be stay close to yourself, have a lot of fun, make sure that you have an aim when it's quite hard. Stay in there, and make the best out of it. If you have to, if you want to change it because you don't have any fun in it anymore, change it directly. Yeah.
Always have the fun and keep the resilience in it as well. That once you hit up,
the resilience is really part of that as well. Yeah, I think that is something you discover during your road.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast, Jorrit.
Yeah, I was very pleased to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to our episode. If you want to connect with our guests personally, then give us a follow on LinkedIn @FirstMoves. We also have an Instagram @FirstMovesPodcast. And lastly, we ask you to leave a review. This will enable us to bring better guests on board and give you better content in the future. Have a nice day.